You're listening to the ESU Visiting Writers Series podcast.
I'm Kevin Rabus, and I'm here with filmmaker Ken Spurgeon, who is visiting today. He's visited a couple of classes, and he's going to give a talk tonight, too. He's assistant professor of history at Friends University, and he has a new film called Sod and Stubble, based on the true story and book by the same name of German immigrant Henry Ise and his wife, Rosie Haag Ise. It showed to about 1,000 people at the Orpheum in Wichita, and it's shown all across Kansas. I've gotten to see it 3 times now. Welcome, Ken.
Thank you. Thanks, Kevin. It's been good to be here, and it's been a while since I've been in Emporia State, but it's a place I love. It's a great university.
Thanks so much for coming. One of the things I found fascinating today when you talked with our classes was that you have a couple of interests that dovetail and in some ways make you a filmmaker when it comes to things like history and art. Those come together in your own practice. Tell me a little bit about how you draw from those two sides of the house and how that makes you unique.
Well, I told the classes today that I was kind of an art major towards the end of my high school years. I thought I'd be an art major and went to college for a minute as an art major. But what I have learned over time, especially as I've become a filmmaker, is we all have our own unique view of looking at things or a way we look at things. And I've always had, as I've read history and stories, I've got a very visual mind. I know a lot of us do, but somehow I've been fortunate that my love of art and my life as a historian have kind of come together or dovetailed together to make that visual brain of mine connect to stories or to history. And so of course, all of us only know our own way of thinking, but it's been exciting the last maybe 10, 15 years, feeling like the things I love, which is history and art, have come together.
Excellent. You gave some really useful and pointed advice when it came to what should we do if we want to be filmmakers. And the sentence I found most interesting was, get on set.
Yeah, someone told me that at one point in time many years ago, and it's just such great advice. Filmmaking, it is somewhat, I wouldn't say rare, but you don't get an opportunity to be on a set, or especially a big set, very often. And so when you get chances to be on set, the best thing you can do if you love film is to be there. And it could be from carrying water to being an assistant director to being an extra, whatever, because it does give you those opportunities to observe. And I'm still doing that, even at my age and whatever, my experience, whatever. I still want to be on set and see how other directors handle a set, or producers do their job, or actors or extras or whatever else. Because I feel like I learned so much from observing. Observational learning, experiential learning is just so important. And also in filmmaking, it is art. And so we don't all do it the same. Directors don't all function the same. There may be certain standards we try to follow and processes that we've worked out. But I certainly advise young filmmakers or people who love film to be on set and keep their eyes open.
You gave a great example when it came to being an early director, working with Buck Taylor, and you saw him one moment, and then you saw him later in another moment, and thought something was wrong. Tell us a little bit about that anecdote, if you would.
Sure. Buck Taylor's been a great friend of mine, and in many ways I'd say that if I've had any success, I owe it to Buck, because Buck was kind enough to take a phone call 17 years ago or something and come see me or meet me or be in a project with me. And we were on a set at one particular point in time, and the day called for for Buck's character to be different ages. And in that moment, he was such a good actor and such a professional that he quite honestly almost surprised me. I actually thought he was not well for a second, maybe. But what that created was a collaboration. I don't think I understood how to collaborate as a director and actor on a film set quite the way that I needed to. And Buck was kind enough to be patient and encouraging, but instructive with me. And I think that was helpful, and he has ever since. He's just a wonderful guy, and yet he's had a lifetime in film and a lifetime in front of people, And his father was Dub Taylor, who was a great character actor too. So he's seen so much, and he's kind enough to share it with. He was kind enough and has been kind enough to share it with me.
Right, right. When it comes to Sod and Stubble, you brought together a kind of village of Kansas crew, as well as a few actors as well. Tell me about working with folks that you know and folks who are local to this place and bringing about a beautiful story using the folks of that place.
Yeah, one thing I have learned, filmmakers come and people who are involved in films, they come from all over the country. They don't just come from one place. They're not all in California. They're not all in, East Coast or Georgia or Texas. And Kansas has some very talented people. I feel like they're waiting to be called to some extent because they're talented. And it's so great to be on set and have Kansans collaborating to make a project, in many cases about a Kansas story. And we got to have that with Sod and Stubble. I mean, I consider it a blessing. And I also think when we were on set, one thing you notice about Kansans is we do have a feel for our place. And that's very important. And so we were lucky enough to have people from different parts of the state who gave of their time, their energy, their talent. And I've joked that my favorite thing about the Sod and Stubble set was the hospitality and the craft services. And I say I joke, but I'm not really joking because people were so great. And that's not something you see on every film set, whether, again, it's the kindness or the hospitality or the incredible cookies or anything else. And so we have a lot to offer is what I believe. And I've been one of the many people who's wanted us to get more attention for Kansas filmmakers because it does make a difference. We have great places to film, and I don't want them to go to other places to film because I think we can do a lot here. And hopefully these films have shown that.
Was there a favorite moment when it came to Sod and Stubble? You've probably gotten to see it a number of times. Is there a scene that you watch and say, we got that right?
Yeah, there's several scenes that I feel like as Kansans we got it right. Sometimes it was just maybe outdoor scenes. Seeing the corn, seeing the way people moved around things, the house. My gosh, the story of the building of the Sod and Stubble house is its own story. I mean, the people of Osborne and Smith County, Kansas, came together to build that house in 6 months, really, under the leadership of Don and Linda Miller on their land. And that's a Kansas story in and of itself. Because people sometimes say the weather is a character, and so's that house. That house is a character in the movie to me, because as I look at it, I know how real it is, and I know how painstaking it was to get it right. Size of windows, etc. And so, yeah, I love our production design. I love our costume design. There's a lot of that I think is great. And that was Kansans.
Right. It seems like Kansans have come out in support. Tell us a little bit about that togetherness.
I think Kansans have come out to support the film and love the book. And I know the book we've sold a lot of books the last year or two. And honestly, that's wonderful. That's a mission accomplished. I think for a lot of us, when we read the book or see the movie, we relate to our family. We relate to our own family stories. One of the themes of the book and the movie that meant a lot to me was the idea of what is home and how hard it is to give up home if you have to leave. And I come from a farm family, so I understand that. You've fought so hard, worked so hard to get that crop to get that farm turned to where it's profitable. And then what happens if your family moves away, your kids move away? What are you going to do? And that is a theme of the movie. And you're going to go probably where your kids are, but it's so difficult to give that up because you worked so hard. And so that theme definitely comes through, and I feel like the people that we were involved with understood that.
Mm-hmm. Any final words for budding filmmakers or just those who appreciate the movies?
Yeah, I just, to not think that every film is an LA film or a Hollywood film or a big budget film. Films come in lots of ways, sizes, and I think we don't realize that sometimes. I mean, we know it, but there are a lot of people who have great stories that they'd like to tell them, and I want to support everybody. I don't want to support just the people who make films like me, and I don't want to create a bunch of people just like me. I want to see the diversity of filmmakers And again, Kansas has that. We've got people who can do lots of great work. And so, yeah, that's what I want to support.
Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us here this afternoon at Emporia State.
Thank you, Kevin.
The ESU Visiting Writer Series podcast is hosted by Kevin Rabis and made possible by the Emporia State University Creative Writing Program. Episodes are recorded and produced in the Donald Reichert Center for Publishing and Literary Arts. You can learn more about us at emporia.edu/creative writing or find us on Facebook and Instagram at ESU Creative Writing.